Welcome to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. We are here to give you all of your real estate news, all of your mortgage news. Where are the interest rates at? Are we still in a seller's market? Is the market crashing? Is there a bubble, as Wall Street would have you believe, or are the talking heads on the media? So I'm just totally still busy, Bruce. Still busy. So
you're busy, but the market's crashing right now.
It's funny.
You hear that?
Central Florida has been in a seller's market probably since about 2012, or probably about 10 years.
Right.
Just because inventory goes up does not mean that switches.
No.
A seller's market, which means appreciation, we could have 5 times as many listings. Now, when the sales drop because the economy stinks and is really bad, or people can't borrow, like in 2008 when their mortgage rates jumped to 10%, they couldn't afford it. Or they thought they're going to rent that house they bought for $3,000 and it didn't rent. None of that's going on right now. Everything is very sound. We still have a shortage of supply, and I'm still getting multiple offers on my listings. And what's funny, though, all the national headlines talk about how inventory is up around the country. It's not up a lot.
No.
And sales are down fractionally because of higher interest rates.
And I've got the numbers. I think you probably do too as well.
Go ahead. Share the ones you got.
I find this interesting because you and I are hearing from people that are, it's not uncommon. I even heard from a real estate agent that says, I'm not really advising my people to buy right now. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? Well, because I think houses are coming down in value. And I said, have you looked at the numbers, or where are you getting your news from? He goes, well, you can tell. I saw Lennar and they dropped their prices, and I've got a house that is having to reduce their price by $10,000 and it's still not selling. I said, that's because it was $20,000 over over value. So I have the numbers here, and I found them rather fascinating because when I look at this, and I pulled up Seminole County, but Orange and Seminole County are
running about the same.
They're about the same numbers.
Central Florida.
So the number of sales was down by 13.11% from July of 2021 to July of 22. And new listings were down by 12.65%. So now that's a real number. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and so inventory's still low,
right?
Relatively. Now, is it as low as it's been the past 18 months and things got crazy? No. So, but that means like a year and a half ago, Bruce, I was getting 20, 30 offers on something.
But here's what I found fascinating. This is why people say, oh, I want to wait. The cost of waiting is costing you a fortune. Now, here's why. So I, first of all, think buyers have a better opportunity right now than they had even a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
Do you agree
we're getting
with that?
closing costs. We're getting a little bit off list price sometimes.
Your buyer's agents are negotiating closing costs on every transaction just about that we've got in our pipeline right now. But here's what I found fascinating. I asked these agents and I asked these people, well, how much do you think houses have dropped in value? And do you think they're undervalued from where they are? They go, oh, yeah, they're coming down in value. It's all over the news. I'm like, well, let me just put this in perspective for you. Mm-hmm. Year to date, your values are up right here at 18.21%.
Yeah, the median price is up.
That's the median price. The actual average price is up 20.1%.
And this is because those people are thinking about active listings. Their prices are coming down. That's active. That's what you're asking. You can ask whatever you want for a house. The market value of the home is what people are walking away from the closing table at. That's the market value of your house. What you take at the closing table, what you sign papers on, what you get paid for, that's your market value. And those sales haven't slowed. We still got a good number of sales in Central Florida. When the bubble hit, Bruce, and nobody could borrow and everybody's stuck with extra houses, sales slowed to like a snail's pace, like literally like less than 1,000 sales a month in Central Florida.
Right.
And our population is so much bigger than that now. We're probably about twice as big as that now. Central Florida sprawled so much, but we don't have problems getting loans. Now, where are the rates at? I heard the rates actually came down.
Rates have come down a little bit. So, depending on where you are, you're going to be anywhere from the 4s to the 6s, depending on credit score, type of loan.
We can get into the 4s again?
You can get into the high 4s.
If you're stellar credit and all that?
Your stellar credit, you can get into the high 4s. Some jumbo loans maybe in the 4s. But they're sitting at the high 4s. I'm not looking at refinancing anybody yet because they're going to go up again. The Fed's going to raise the Fed rate a couple of more times this year. The whole, that your government just passed an Inflation Reduction Act, right?
It spends $1 bazillion.
Spends $1 bazillion to try to cut back on inflation. I'm like, I don't know.
God help us.
You talk about fuzzy math. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how that. Now, listen, I'm all about infrastructure and fixing infrastructure and things like that. So I can swing both ways politically when it comes to that. I don't think anybody's against fixing infrastructure, but some of the frivolous pork that you see in these bills is ridiculous. But it is what's called the Inflation Reduction Act. It's a freaking joke because we have not hit the peak of inflation yet. In my opinion, I don't think
they're spending more money, which probably is
we're going to spend more money. All right.
Imagine if they had to balance their budget, how good the economy would be and how good Wall Street would do.
Can you believe that? So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so the prices are still rising. They're not going to slow down.
Prices are up 20%.
And even and it's funny because I see articles about how there's vulnerable markets because their prices went up so fast, they could come down just as fast. And Florida's got a couple cities, and not us, in that list of top 10 markets that could come down. But what's going to happen is when sales slow and the mega $1 million homes don't sell, the media is not going to tell you, hey, the median price is still rising. They're going to say, oh my gosh, the average price dropped 10%. So prices are coming down. If you're going to own your home for any number of years, and we always think you should always buy and hold your real estate until you're moving on to your retirement home, or you're liquidating your portfolio in your 60s and 70s, but it's not going. They're going to pick the stats. If it bleeds, it leads. And always watch what you're interpreting. What kind of headline are you reading, or what are you clicking on? And then tune in here, and we'll tell you, is that a local stat? Is that a Central Florida stat? And then you and I have jobs because you interpret that person's credit report and that person's income.
Absolutely.
I interpret their market value of their house, and I interpret what's going on with them and what's best for them. Okay, the kids don't leave for college till next spring. Or when they graduate next year. So let's get you, don't do that new pool, but let's do it. Your kitchen is beat up. Let's do a kitchen remodel. So, but if you need help getting a mortgage, what's the phone number, Bruce?
407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144. Or visit my website and apply online at webringyouhome.com.
And Loveland Properties. I got a lot of people calling me. It's actually funny, Bruce. I can tell the market's slowing because I got people on the market and they've been on for 4 months and they're calling me going, I haven't sold. And it's usually
4 months,
and this is unheard of. So it's fixing a couple little things. It's not always market position, but you got to watch your market position, your price. You got to pay attention to that. And a lot of the listings I'm seeing, I'm still getting multiple offers on my listings. A lot of the listings I'm seeing they're way above. They're thinking the market's going to keep going at that 20% a year rate that we've had. That's been incredible.
Or
for 2 years.
ask 10% over what the actual value is worth.
Yeah,
and they were getting it last year. And all they had to do is put a sign in the yard and say highest and best, and they had 15 people wanting to buy it. No, that is no longer the case.
No longer. Well, some people can't qualify anymore. Other people have bought their homes. There's not as many people moving out of the blue states that, the blue states are pretty much unlocked, I think, unless they're trying to lock them down again. But we've got people coming here. But this is the market we're in, and it's different for every single person you and I talk to. We'll help you with the best roadmap to where you want to go.
Absolutely. Whether you're a jumbo buyer buying in a high-end property for $5 million, or you're a first-time home buyer that's scraping pennies to get to come to the table to come up with your down payment. But you know what, Cleve? You and I are teaching classes, and we have a home buyer class that we're teaching on August the 17th. And what we're doing here is helping people that are currently renting and frustrated with rent understand how to get in the market, because there are ways you can get in the market. There's low down payment loans. There's zero down payment loans. You and I are really pushing a lot of Hometown Heroes, which is helping firefighters, police, educators, and nurses, healthcare workers. I mean, a myriad of different occupations.
Well, here's what if people focus and they understand they shouldn't have a $700 BMW lease. That should go towards housing. That's what's going to help. You're shaking your head like you hear.
Oh my God, I see that so often.
And why do you think they do leases? I remember 20 years ago, you didn't do leases. 25 years ago, you didn't do leases.
Because they can buy
because you can buy a car you can't afford. You can
right.
you rent a car that you can't afford.
Right.
So, and there might be advantages for businesses, but I'm just saying, if you look at your family's budget and the family's bringing home $8,000 a month,
right?
They should be able to put how much towards housing? 30%?
Well, you should be able to put about 40% towards that. You should be able to. A 40% is a comfortable budget for your housing expense. You get above 45%, you're pushing it. If you have no bills whatsoever, no car payments, you pay your credit cards off every month, 45 can be a comfortable. I see 50% people getting into. It's a little strained, but when I look at somebody that's got a 50 DTI, 50% debt to income ratio, Cleve. But I'm not using a spouse because they don't qualify because of credit.
Yeah.
But they've got an extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month in income. I'm willing to push that client to a 50 back end ratio because they really have more money than that. I'm just not using
But when
it.
somebody comes to you and they get fast tracked, because this is the buyer, the fast track's like still priceless. It made your offer look better when you had 20 offers to compete against. But now, if they're fast tracked and you tell the seller, hey, we need some closing costs and we're coming in a little bit below list price, but our loan can close whenever you want it to. Our lender guarantees it. You have no doubts on what's going on.
Absolutely. My average close time is 28 days. I can close a fast track loan in 10 days without any problem. Why? Because it wasn't pre-approved by a loan officer. You guys are all running around with pre-approval letters that were written by loan officers. Well, that's like the fox guarding the chicken house, right?
Yep.
So when an underwriter approves a loan, the loan's done.
It's done, yeah.
It's underwritten. The only thing we're missing is a contract and an appraisal. Listen, if you're out there and you're considering buying a home, you've got to give Cleve and his team a chance. He can be reached at 407-352-8118. That's Cleve Loveland and his amazing buyer's agents, 407-352-8118. I guarantee you, you will not find a better group of negotiating buyer's agents than you have on your team. I absolutely love them. I've referred my own family to them, and I'm going to tell you something. They knock it out of the ballpark. So that's what you want to choose when you're choosing a great real estate agent to partner.
And realtors, you want a good lender that's going to get your loan done and tell you what's really going on with your buyer and not leave you hanging weeks before closing saying, oh, wait, we got to do this. Wait, we got to do that. You got to sell that car. Oh, loan's denied. Call Bruce at
407-250-9144. It's 407-250-9144. Or just apply online. It's super and easy at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. So we've identified, Cleve, that the amount of sales is down about 13%. New listings are down about 12.65%, but houses are actually up about 20%.
Yeah, prices are rising, but what you're going to see is oh my gosh, the number of homes that adjusted their list price went way up. Well, that's in a normal market, that's normal.
That's normal.
And then they won't be selling for above list price. That'll be the next thing we see is, oh my gosh, homes are selling at 98% of list price instead of 100.
Great. And
instead
97% of list price is actually, I think, isn't that a
so
good...
watch those stats. Yeah, that's actually good. Right. But it's still a good price, but you got to be marketed right. And what I usually do, Bruce, I make people, like I just had a seller fussing at me because I said, hey, we need to spend $5,000 on this house. It was just a paint job and freshen the yard up. It looked horrible. It had been a rental property and ridden hard, put up wet. And literally I told him he tried selling on his own and had a bunch of realtors come through and it was too rough. We spent $5,000. I raised his price $15,000 and got him 10 offers. Oh, so it's all about perception. It's all about staging. And I've got a 50-point staging checklist you can get. We'll give out the numbers in a bit.
But go ahead, give it out.
407-352-8118. I got a good email, Bruce, here asking about person looking at homes in the $450,000 range.
Okay, good
and they
price point.
They said, what's a good offer to put in? They found the one they like at $450,000, $449,900, and they said, what's a good price? What's a good price offer? This is what your agent should be doing for you. How long has that home been on the market?
Correct.
How do you feel about it? Did you see something at $420,000? Did you see something at $470,000? Yeah. You'll know the one.
What does it compare with the other properties in that area?
When Neo appears before you, you will know the one. So, and it's the red-pilled America, right?
Right.
And so it's just you will know. And then how long has it been on the market? Has it had a price adjustment? And that's what you're seeing now. If a house has been sitting for three and a half weeks, there's no offers. You ask the listing agent, they say there's no offers. It's been at the same price, and it's a little bit rough. And you saw some other ones that maybe they're a little less square footage, but they were beautiful. It gives you an idea that you might need to come in a little below list price or offer a little less. Now, check the comps in the neighborhood. I just had one. We were looking at it, and it seemed like a good price. But when we checked the neighborhood, this house was 10% above the rest of the neighborhood. So that's what's important. But when they fast track with you, and they've got hometown heroes all lined up to help them with costs, it's just it makes it so simple. But we are paid. Most of the time, people they want a realtor to help negotiate, and they want a good lender to know that their loan's going to close.
Yep. All right. So thank you for that. Fast track is definitely the way to go. Cleve, your number again?
407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
And for the Loan Arranger, 407-250-9144. When we come back from the next break, I want to talk to you, Cleve, about what the IRS has done to audit the self-employed buyer and how that's going to affect them getting a real estate transaction or a mortgage in the future. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger, giving you all of your local real estate news, your mortgage news. What's going on?
No fake news here.
That's right. And Bruce, you teased about, I just heard, we've got this Inflation Reduction Act talking about it also gave $1 bazillion to the IRS so they could hire more agents to shoot all that ammo they bought. Remember the ammunition they've been hoarding. What does that mean for our self-employed borrowers?
It's really interesting because the federal government just announced that they are hiring 87,000 IRS agents for auditing. Now, let me just tell you something. Do you know that the IRS has still not even caught up with people's income taxes from 2021, okay? They just finished 2020, so they're still behind on 2021. But they've decided, because this particular administration just loves the self-employed person, that they've hired 87,000
armed agents. They're probably armed.
To audit self-employed borrowers. Now, I'm going to tell you something. They're not going to audit the mega companies that they say and claim they're going to go after that aren't paying any taxes. Those people have got, they've got highly professional auditing firms that already audit these big companies should be dialed in.
They pay somebody to audit them before they turn them into the IRS.
Of course they do.
But they're going to go after the self-employed construction guy that has $500,000 in revenue and shows a 37.5 tax return.
So here's the deal. And listen, I know that a lot of our listeners are just like that. You're driving around in a big old Ford F-150 Raptor and you make tons of money. You got good credit. You got money in the bank. You're making good money. You just ain't showing no money. And all my realtor friends fall into that category too. You write it all off. So now, and you don't even mix, you don't even separate your personal expenses from your business expenses. You just commingle it all together and write everything off. I know who you are. That's why we have stated income and bank statement programs for you. But let me just tell you what this is going to do. Do you know, Cleve, that if the IRS it comes in and says, we are going to audit you, that they can and often will seize you from getting any type of a mortgage for 3 years. Now, you don't have to be found guilty. You don't have to have committed IRS fraud, but if you are in an audit, they can seize you from getting a mortgage. So you couldn't sell or go buy another property. You couldn't refinance, okay? You definitely can't go out and buy another house. So how would you like that if you're self-employed? Now, listen, I think a lot of you self-employed people probably do write off a little bit more than you probably should. You know who you are. I don't judge you, but I'm just telling you, be aware, because I think that middle America, it's the people like you and I that drive this country. We are small business people. We work damn hard for a living. We're out there to help the community. You got the guy that owns the bakery down the street and the dry cleaner and the auto dealership and the car lot. And I mean, these are plumbers and electricians. These are the people that drive the country. Why do we want to hurt them so bad? That's your government. You voted for them. I didn't vote for them, but that's what's going to happen. And you need to be aware of it if you're self-employed, because if it affects you on getting a mortgage, it's going to affect you. So knock it off. Let's make sure that our taxes are dialed in so that you're not audited and you're not frozen from taking an opportunity to get in the market. If you have questions about that, I will connect you with the CPA, or you can always call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or call Cleve
407-352-8118.
Yep, or lovelandreport.com. So, Cleve, one of the things that you've always talked about, and I want to talk about this when we come back from the next break, is these iBuyer companies. So they got all these companies that advertise on TV. You can leave your underwear on the floor. Nobody needs to come in your house.
You don't have to move out
for
several months.
We're going to pay you top dollar for it.
Yep.
So I want to, when we come back from the next break, I want to talk about a major problem that happened in that market. But I want to save it for our listeners for when we come back. Right. But you don't want to miss this.
We'll be right back.
One more time, your phone number?
407-352-8118.
or 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Don't miss this next segment.
Welcome back to the Loveland Report. I am Cleve Loveland, voice of real estate in Central Florida, alongside Bruce Woodburn. His first mortgage he carved out was on. Were you on the mountain next
with Moses?
With Moses on the stone tablets.
Yeah.
That's right. Been doing this for a long time. So when you look up and down that street, chances are one of those rooftops. I've helped sell it. I've helped buy it. Bruce put a mortgage on it. I helped manage his investment property. Wherever you can hear our voice in 6 counties around Central Florida. And Bruce, you're actually nationwide, right?
I am. Well, I can lend all the
anywhere in the country. That's right. You just helped one of my clients move into Tennessee, I believe.
Yes.
But I want to go into
Michigan.
I got one great listing this week I want to talk about. We talked about that median price and the average price. Our median price is pushing 400 or above 400. The average price is in the mid fours. And I've got one nice house right down the street from Maitland. It's an Orlando address, and this is a 3-2. 1,600 square feet, enormous screen porch on the back, corner lot with a large backyard. Sometimes corner lots, the house gets pushed back from the street and you have a small backyard. Big vinyl fenced backyard, vaulted ceilings, split plan, fireplace in the living room.
Wow.
All tile, inside laundry, 2-car garage for $332,000.
No kidding. In Maitland.
And that's next to Maitland. It's off of 414 and Eden Magnolia Homes Road.
Okay.
So edge of Lockhart, but a great little subdivision. No, I think the HOA is only like $100 a year. It's optional, but great house and great bones. You can move right in and just great house and just just go. That'd be a great rental property. That might be
a good rental property.
That's a good rental property. That's a good first time starter home. And what's our payment on a $300,000 home with a couple?
$2,800.
$300,000? Is that much? $2,800?
Yep.
With the rates?
With the rates where they are right now, $350,000, about $2,800, maybe $2,200.
Okay. Now they got a down payment. Obviously, it's going to be less than that. Yep.
It all depends on how much.
If you want to if you're looking for a home, you can't quite seem to find the one. Give me a call, or you want interested in this one? 407-352-8118.
And you think about that. You know, I'm still buying property right now, and we've got a lot of folks that you and I hear from, and they're like, yeah, I'm a little nervous. Interest rates are up right now. And, I think the housing prices are coming down in value. I'm going to tell you something. Housing prices are not coming down in value. The only thing that's coming down in value is the seller that wanted $40,000 more than their house was worth, and were getting it last year, are not getting it this year. Here's what you get, and here's why I'm buying right now. I just bought 2 properties in May. I'm still looking at buying 2 more properties, and I'm going to, in the area, I bought 2 in Daytona. I'm looking in Ocala. I would like to actually see that house you got with a Maitland address for $350,000.
It's an Orlando address, but it's next to
whatever
Maitland area.
But I'm going to tell you something. They're not building more developments.
Oh, this house would probably rent for $2,300 with a little bit of fix up.
Yep.
Maybe probably more. I know it's just incredible.
So and look at it. You said it's a 3-2.
Yep.
Yeah. So look at, you want a starter home. You want rent control. Buy that house. That's 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Yep. That's the best rent control you can get. And listen, if you're concerned about anything, maybe you're like, I don't have enough down payment. Maybe I can get you into down payment assistance. Maybe you qualify for 3% down conventional loan. Maybe you qualify for FHA 3.5%. Cleve's buyers agents will negotiate closing costs for you. Okay, let's get you in for minimum down. Maybe you're a hero, police, firefighter, EMT, educator, teacher, healthcare worker. Cleve and I are helping people that fall into that category, that we can get you up to $25,000 in government money. Why would you not want to buy? It's the best down payment assistance program I've ever seen, and my team are specialists on this program. If you're interested in that, or you know somebody that's renting that is a hero, law enforcement, first responder, they could be a jail guard, they could be any of those fields. Teachers need this. If you're a principal in a school and you are trying to recruit more teachers, have me come in and do a presentation to all your teachers. I will help you retain more teachers, keep them in the area. Do you know, all of you self-employed people out there, I'm going to give you a fact. Do you know that if your employees are homeowners, they will stay with you 4 times longer? That is a statistic. You can look it up on the Department of Labor and Statistics. Yep. Now, if you have a way to help people become homeowners, then they're even more loyal to you. But if you're a teacher and you're a principal or a school board and you want to bring more people in, bring Cleve and I in. We will do consultations with all of your teachers and show them how we can get them up to $25,000 to cover their down payment and their closing costs. It's a no-brainer. It makes no sense not to do it. Call Cleve.
407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
Yes, or call Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, CrossCountry Mortgage. I've got the team that specializes in these programs. If you're a veteran, teacher, law enforcement, 407-250-9144, 407-250-9144, or go right to my website right now. Do an application at webringyouhome.com. We are not an internet company. We are a full service company. We call you back. We meet with you if you want to. We'll Zoom with you. We'll courier pigeon with you. Whatever it takes to get the job done. If you got credit issues, we'll help you with your credit issues.
And you said something about we are not an internet company, so they're not going to get a call center in another country.
You're not going to India to get a call center.
So
for me.
talk about what you were talking about with the big iBuyer companies.
Okay, so listen, I got to tell you, their commercials are pretty impressive. Would you agree?
Oh,
with
they're
me?
marketers. They're out there all the time.
They're
yeah.
marketing.
Sounds
companies.
great.
They're owned by giant hedge funds, but they act like they're your real estate agent alternative. And it is an alternative. It's an alternative for you getting screwed, in my opinion. That's what it is. So here's the thing. Real estate agents that are good earn their money. Now, there's some not so good real estate agents out there. You meet them all the time. But there's some great real estate agents out there that have your best interest. They have a fiduciary responsibility, meaning a legal responsibility to get you the most money they can on a sell side, and they have a fiduciary responsibility to get you the best deal they can from the buy side. That's why you want somebody that's working for you. So all these iBuyer companies come in. You don't need to pick up your underwear. Nobody needs to see the house. We'll buy it cash. We'll close fast. And you're going to get the most money for your property. Bumpkiss. That's what I got to say about Bumpkiss.
Well, they're about 20 to 30% below market.
So listen, Open Door, big company, related to a lot of these other companies that you're hearing every other commercial on, just got fined by the FTC. This is the Federal Trade Commission. These are the big guys. When they come after you, they are after you hard and heavy. $62 or $63 million for, you know what they got fined for?
Because they were saying they didn't have any fee. They didn't have any real estate commission, but their fees are so high.
That was just one of them. It was multitude of deceptive practices. They were giving clients charts where they showed that they made them more money. They were telling them that they got more money than a typical real estate transaction. There was all kinds of reasons they got cited for it, and it's all just a scam. Let me just tell you something, you guys. You want a good real estate company? You want a good real estate broker? Interview somebody, look at their stats, look at people like Cleve and say, how many transactions do you close? How much is your close time? How much days on the market as a seller? Are you negotiating closing costs for people as a buyer? Look at the statistics. Look at the longevity that somebody like Cleve has in the market. I mean, come on. He's been doing real estate since he was a baby. His mom was a realtor. She was doing it probably when he was in utero. I have no idea. But the guy's got experience. When he says one of those rooftops in your neighborhood was probably bought or sold by him or somebody on his team, he's telling the truth, man. This guy is the real deal when it comes to really connecting with somebody that cares about you. And he's no nonsense. I mean, he's not going to BS you just to get the listing.
I've had over the past couple of years as those companies have marketed more and more and more, and they're trying to buy more because Wall Street wants the single-family homes because there's, quite frankly, I guess there's not enough apartments for them to buy. You know, Wall Street owns most apartments out there.
Yep.
So they want to get into they got in the single family home business in 2010 when they started doing that.
Yep. And
it actually was a good deal for them. But they have like shareholders to answer to. So they have to close on a certain number of homes. And every once in a while, it's funny. I'll find out like, oh, they called me and no, they're going to give me a ton of money. You know, I've seen that happen like twice in the past 3 years. And I'm like, wow, okay, that you should take that because somebody's going to get fired when the dust finally settles,
right? And
they realize they paid you $100,000 more than you can actually get. But 99.99% of the time, you're getting about 70 to 75, 80% maybe of market value and still paying fees. They don't call it real estate commission, but you're still paying fees.
Yeah, because they say no commission, but you want
somebody negotiating on your behalf And when I sit down with a seller, like I'll say, well, my neighbor wants to buy my house. So I need you to come over. I want you to handle the deal for us because I don't want to negotiate with them. And I go, wait a minute. Let's pick the price on your home first. This is what your house, I would list this house for if this guy didn't exist. And I feel that fiduciary, Bruce, to my sellers to make sure they are getting what they feel is a fair price.
Yep. All right, Cleve, how does somebody reach you and your team?
407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
So when you have a buyer's agent, you got a call. Let's just say we got a call right now. We got some great listeners out there. I'm getting texts from them right now. You can text or call me at 407-250-9144, 407-250-9144. I have loan officers on call 7 days a week for all of you real estate agents or clients seeking to get pre-approved for a mortgage. I have every loan product that you can possibly think of. I have construction loans, renovation loans, first-time home buyer, down payment assistance, VA, FHA, USDA. I mean, the list goes on and on. Self-employed, bank statement programs, jumbo loans to beat everybody. I mean, anything you need, I got it. You'll get full service. You'll get great service. You get return phone calls, and you get a great rate. I'm a national lender. I'm not a mortgage broker schlepping around. You know, in the old days, people goes, I go to a mortgage broker because they shop all the different banks so I can get the best rate. Ho, 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 ho. You know what they shop? They shop which bank would pay them the highest commission. Don't be fooled by that. All of my loans have a set margin on them so that everybody gets the same based on your credit score or the type of loan you're getting. It's a great rate. I'm a national lender. We're like 6th largest in the country. Come to somebody you can trust. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Cleve, you and I have a class that we want to talk about too.
That's this Wednesday?
Yep. It's Wednesday, 17th. At 6 o'clock at
Tibby's, okay.
Tibby's, New Orleans.
Altamont or Winter Park?
It's a Winter Park. It's on Aloma Avenue in Winter Park near Lakemont.
Yep. And then they go to webringyouhome.com.
Webringyouhome.com. So here, but we're going to do a little different class, Cleve and I, this time because we're going to work on helping more renters become homeowners. We're going to work on more homeowners becoming multiple homeowners. We're going to help you navigate on how to negotiate the best deal for you. And we're going to talk a little bit about hometown heroes. So if you're a real estate agent or if you are a buyer, get in that class. You're going to want to see what we've got to offer. And Cleve, Cleve invites other real estate agents to come see him speak because, listen, he's got a world of knowledge and he's a giver. So he helps share. If you are looking for a great brokerage to join, come talk to him. He's got opportunities for talented people too.
I got to say, though, you're a realtor you want to change your career. You want a career in real estate, not a hobby, not something where you sell a house a year or one every 2 months or one every 7 months. We work. We do. We work. We work 7 days a week, 7 days a week. I've got a great team, but that's what's funny. When I have agents call me and then I tell them, well, we got a morning meeting every morning. We go over all of our inventory. We go over our pipeline. We go over customer service. How are we handling these clients? How are we prospecting? How are we working on getting these homes sold? And agents, their eyes glaze over.
Well, because that person wants a part-time job. Yeah. And if you hire that person, you're getting a part-time negotiator. Why would you do that? Hire full-time people that take this job seriously. That's what you get with the Loveland team at 407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com. If you would like to reach the loan arranger, I promise you will not find a better mortgage company to take care of you if you are a client or if you were a real estate agent, or if you were a builder. I mean, I help a lot of builders out there with their construction lending as well. If you're a builder, I have a dedicated team that does nothing but help my builders. So we are all fully equipped to help you with that. You just go to webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com, or call me directly at 407-250-9144. Now, we got about 30 seconds. When we come back from the next break, Cleve, I know I want to talk a little bit more about the consequences, again, of the IRS and really assaulting our self-employed people. So one more time with your phone number before. 407-352-8118 or lovelandreport.com. Yeah, and for the loan arranger, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this IRS segment. I can promise you that.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show, getting all your mortgage news from Bruce Woodburn and all your real estate news from Cleve Loveland as we help guide Central Floridians towards the most valuable purchase of their life. I mean, what else do they do?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what else you can do.
I mean, it's one of the biggest investments you ever make. It's probably the most important one that people have, and they'll usually buy that $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 house before they have $300,000 or $500,000 in the bank. But it is better. You do it because you don't want to pay rent.
Well, you and I see, because we're in the real estate mortgage business, finance business, but when we see people coming to us that have substantial down payment, matter of fact, almost any down payment other than a first-time home buyer, it's coming from the sale of another house. So it's not piggy bank money. And sometimes people pull a little bit of money out of an IRA or 401k, but generally when they're closer to retirement or if they're a little bit short. But most of the time, I see people coming to the table with money. It's because they made it in real estate. And
what's interesting is, like, right now, as the housing market will slow, what's going to help people though is you had people over the past 5 years that got great 30-year rates. They got great 15-year rates. Yep. They're building equity in their home. They're still building equity in it. They'll still be able to move. They're not going to be trapped like everybody was trapped in 2008, 9, and 10. And so this market will stay healthy. Now, you'll have some of those people will want to stay because they got a 3% interest rate.
Yeah.
But
look at how much the house went up in value.
Yeah, but families change. Kids come and go, marriages, divorces,
for sure,
job transfers, things like that. Bigger house, newer house, older house, whatever it might be, more land, less land. All these things still happen. This is why you and I help people every day doing that.
Absolutely. And Cleve, how would they reach you?
407-352-8118 for Central Florida's busiest team, and we will help you just about anywhere within the sound of my voice. We can help you. Just moved a great couple out to Titusville.
Yeah.
And great condominium in Cocoa Beach we found in Canaveral. You got a view one side of the cruise ships, got a view of the beach on the other side, and just gorgeous properties. All around Central Florida, we can help you. If you're hearing my voice, call Loveland Properties at 407-352-8118. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, and so listen, just one more thing to wrap it up for the week. And don't forget to tune into my show tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the Lone Ranger radio show. But so the IRS, Cleve, just hired 87,000 agents
Wonderful.
To audit self-employed people. Now, they're not going after the self-employed big mega companies because they've got, Anderson for accounting agencies, Arthur Anderson, and these big companies that have accounting firms within their firm. They're going after middle America. They're going after the plumber, the electrician, the real estate agent, all the self-employed people that are writing off all kinds of stuff that they don't think they should write off.
They're going to look at the 1099.
And here's the problem with that. All of you listening to me out there, if you're self-employed, don't fool yourself. If the IRS comes to you for an audit, they can freeze you from getting a mortgage for 3 years. 3 years, they can freeze you. So that means even if you're not guilty of committing some type of IRS fraud,
it's a pain in the butt.
It's more than a pain in the butt,
yeah.
And you'll likely need to hire an attorney. So listen, I can help self-employed people, but I want you to know that it's always good to do your taxes right. Separate business from pleasure. Have a credit card for your personal expenses. Have a credit card for your business. Keep it separate. If you want good mortgage advice, sound advice, and you want somebody to yell at you about how you're not running your business right, hire me. I'll be happy to yell at you for a while. Because, listen, I was that person, and now I'm not that person, and I'm committed to helping more people. You want me to help you? You want a friend in the business? I'm here, 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com.
And we hope to see you this Wednesday night at the buyer seminar. Go to WeBringYouHome.com.
Yep, and don't forget, real estate's gone up 20% already. You only need 5% to make a ton of profit, so don't miss out on it. Cleve and I are here to help you with any of your real estate transactions. Have a great weekend. Once again, Cleve Loveland at 407-352-8118 or the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144
Have a great weekend.
or WeBringYouHome.com. God bless each and every one of you.